Hey, welcome back. You know, there are so many books written on how to become good at sales. There's so many courses offered, there's so many videos. And I have many of these books. I've taken courses, and none of them really help. Do you know what really helps one to become good in sales? Is put yourself as a buyer. You're buying a lot. You're buying more than selling. And ask yourself, how would I have done it better? It's a simple question. How would I have done it better? How would I do this better than the other person who's trying to sell you? It's a simple question, and if you ask that more and more, you're going to figure out how to become good at sales. So let me just give you two simple examples. And I think I mentioned it on previous videos. One had to do with this SAT test center. Uh, I have a teenage son who's going to get ready to take an SAT test in another year. So I wanted to kind of get him exposed to test taking since he's not exposed to that and he's not good at it. So I thought they would be able to help me out. And as expected, they were going to find out that my son needs a lot of help, but they didn't really try to solve the problem, which is how does he become good at SAT test, taking that test? Instead, they came up with this entire program that would take 100 hours, and at the end it would cost about $8,000 for like 6 months, which I thought was excessive. Now, some people might think that's reasonable, but I'm not sure that would even solve the problem. And what I was really looking for was, which they never asked, Mr. Oza, what exactly are you looking for that you think will help your son? Because I know my son. What I was looking for is, I want him to keep taking tests and use that test as a way to get better at taking the test. That's it. That's all I was looking for. Never offered. They never offered that. That's not part of their offering. And I just read an article in Wall Street Journal. That's how they found to be the most effective way of doing well on tests, by taking sample tests. And from that, you can learn, you can see certain patterns, and you get better at it. But the SAT Test Center doesn't even offer that. They didn't even seem to even bring that up on what really works. All they cared about was, here's our program, and they scare the hell out of you so that you would go for it. And then at the end, I'm not sure it would, maybe it'll improve a little bit, but not significantly. The research has shown what works is taking the test, and they didn't offer that, so I'm not doing business with them. And I just figured out that if I was running that test center, I would just sell that way, saying, look, we're not here to educate your son on algebra, reading, and all that. That's something the school should do. What we're going to focus on is just take the test and see how we can improve them and take them over and over again, maybe 10 tests, I don't know, and go through it, analyze it, what he got right, what he got wrong, and how is he improving. And from that, we'll be able to tell that he's got the hang of tests. But one thing that we can't do is we're not an organization that's there to improve his reading skills and math skills separately. If it's part of the test, definitely, but not separately. Now, that's what I was looking for, never offered. So that's what I would do if I was running an SAT test center. Just test, 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 and show the improvement from one test to another test to another test, and show them that, look, you're taking the test, and then from each test they can isolate, okay, these are the type of questions you're getting wrong. Here's how you would study them. Here's how you'd work on them. Like that. Simple. Not offered, not doing work with them. The second one is car dealers. And I currently am looking for a car. And I went to a Lexus dealer. And you can tell right away that they don't know how to sell. Because I put myself and said, if I were there, if I was selling Lexus, how would I sell? And they do so many things wrong. The one thing they do well is that I went in there and I gave them a lot of information. They were very attentive. They listened. I test drove the car. Very nice. They did all that part right. But that's not enough. Sales has gotten much more complicated now. You got to do a lot of things well, not just one thing well. So the one thing I will give them credit for, I had no issue walking in, test driving the car. They're very attentive. They listened to me. And then there are a lot of things that they didn't do well. So I want to be very clear. I want to be fair to these sales car dealers. There are certain things they do well, but there are a lot of things they don't do well. So let me point out some of the things they don't do well. I keep getting emails like a blast, computer generated, with with your name on it and some other information, but they're not personalized. They're almost like coming from somebody, not the person that I met, the salesperson, but somebody else that I don't even know. And they keep sending me mail. Thank you for coming. If you have any questions, let me know. And I'm like, why is this email not coming as a personalized email from the person that I met? That's a turnoff. Like, wait a second. I don't want to get an email blast like I'm some, one of the customer that's computer generated. I don't want to go talk to the computer. Okay, so that's one thing that they don't do well, and I don't even think they care. Okay. The second thing that they don't do well is, and this is a Lexus dealer, so the car we're looking for is not going to be cheap, right? It's going to be at least over $45,000, the minimum, maybe even more. I don't know. What they should do then is, here's what I would do. So I put myself inside, okay, how would I sell? So the first thing I would do is I would let them come in, get the information saying, okay, what is the car for? When is your time frame? Go test drive it, find out, do you like this car? Is this the car you can see yourself purchasing? And etc. And in my case, I gave them information that my wife's away for a couple of weeks. My son and I are here to test drive the car. And when she comes back, we would like to test drive it. Here's what I would have done. But if I had that information, I would say, listen, here's what I want you to do. You let me know. I will have this one car available. Come come and bring your license and your wife's license. Come take the car, spend a day in that car, go to the mall, drive your kids around, take your parents, and at the end of the day, drop it off, no questions asked, go back and then let me know, what did you think of it? And if you like it, then let's work out a deal and we'll get you the car you like. That's it. That's all the sales is required. And if you can't do that, the product should do the work. You should not be hindering the sales. A salesperson should be helping you sell, not hindering the sales. The more talking that a salesperson does means that he's not selling. If you got a product, get the person into the product. Let them stay with it. Let them feel like it. Let them have the car parked in their driveway. Let them show it to their friends. Make it feel like they already own the car. How much would that cost them? At most, how many miles are you going to put on that? Maybe 100 at most? But what you get in return is like, hey, these guys, they really know how to sell cars. And then say, listen, we know that you have access to Costco and Edmunds and all that. I will match whatever they come up with. Okay, I'll match, and I'll even do it better. I'll reduce it by another $500. Whatever the price that they give you, I'll reduce it by another $500. No questions asked. The deal is done at that point. Now I'm going to see whether that's what they're going to do. So this weekend, I'm probably going to go take my wife to test drive, and it's going to be frustrating because they're not selling the way I would sell. So I'm going to close this out. In any sales situation, whatever it is, ask yourself, how would you do it better? And if you do it over and over again, you will develop that sales muscle, and you will become a better salesman. You don't need to read a book. You don't need to read a book. In fact, I got a book right here. This one is saying Socratic selling. Now, come on. Socratic selling? Like learning from Socrates? Yeah, Socrates. This is the guy who ended up killing himself, right? I don't think I want to learn anything from him on how to sell. He couldn't sell himself to keep him alive. So anyway, I don't want to get deep into philosophy here. But selling, the best way to learn is to put yourself in the situation of the salesperson and ask yourself, how would I do it better? That one question will make you a better salesman and you can learn a lot that way and document it. And who knows, if you got enough of this, you can even write a book. My name is Jay Oza, and I'm coming out with a book titled Winning Speech Moments: How to Achieve Your Objective with Anyone, Anytime, Anywhere. And I want to thank you for watching, and good luck with sales.